Welcome back. Well, the big cue today, of course, is going to be the RBI's Monetary Policy Committee meeting, which will be announcing its rate decision by 10 a.m. Now, our citizen MPC sees the central bank holding rates at 6.5%, with the stance unchanged at withdrawal of accommodation. We have Latha joining in with the editor's take. So, Latha, what are you expecting today?
Well, as a rule, monetary authorities prefer status quo when the fiscal side is a bit uncertain, and now things are pretty uncertain at the fiscal level. So you must expect an extremely status quo policy. You must, especially when there is a fear of fiscal looseness, that is, higher deficit, the monetary system has to be tighter. So if anything, there could be a bias in favor of tightness, but since you don't know, the budget is not ready, the Reserve Bank will not take either sides, and you must expect as neutral a tone as possible from the governor. That is the base case with which experts and the markets are going into the system. 6.5% repo rate and stance of withdrawal of accommodation will not, even a comma, will not change in any of these. There was some expectation in the run-up, especially after the GDP came in at 8.2% for the full FY24, that there may be an upward bias to the 7% GDP that the Reserve Bank had forecast. In fact, couple of, for instance, Citi has already upped their forecast to 7.2 for the current year. But that is going to be dashed now because political uncertainty would mean even capex cycle could take its time. Will the government's old capex pace and rhythm continue? All those doubts will keep even that unchanged. Hopes of inflation being lower than the current CPI forecast was there in the market because this is going to be a La Nina year, and expectation of cereal prices falling were very much there. But now that again gets dashed because if the fiscal deficit is a little higher, there is an upward bias to inflation. So nobody will touch the CPI forecast, certainly not the Reserve Bank. Chances are that, you're going to see a very neither dovish nor hawkish tone is what the market is expecting. There was also a liquidity gush expected. If there is a firm government in place, equity flows will come and bond flows will of course come because of the inclusion. Now even that is dashed. So will something like an MSS be announced to absorb all the liquidity? Even that now is not in place. So I'm going with the expectation that it will be business as usual in about half an hour after the policy is announced. But let me just tell you one caveat. Every time I have gone to an event with, everyone knows what's going to happen, something altogether different happens. And that happened as recently as 2 days ago. So, let us be alert to every comma. It is going to be a no surprises policy as we see it now. But, you can always be shocked.
And Latha was out for a while, right? And it was absolutely quiet here. Latha came back on Monday.
Brings back the storm.
Fireworks storm, is it?
So, yeah, I mean...
Good to be back if that is the reason.
No, it's wonderful. And, so as Latha said, it's quiet, no one is expecting anything, but we will track for what can happen, right? And so all eyes there, and it'll happen fairly soon this morning in the first half. So that's the policy. But
the big gossip will be,
will be nothing about monetary policy. It'll be about...
So will you go to Delhi?
Exactly.
But anyway, the
but I'll tell you...
Gossip from Delhi is that, the BJP anyway is not someone that puts technocrats in, like we saw in, the previous regimes. It believes in professional politicians.
But Mr. Jaishankar, that would be that's the biggest example that people cite.
That was after a lot of gaffes on foreign policy. Inviting Xi Jinping, expecting that we've got everything right, and then, stab in the back from the country. So then you realize that a professional politician, a professional IFS guy is better. But otherwise, there are no examples of technocrats at least not in finance, for sure. So chances are that, that question will be poo-pooed when asked.
We'll be listening very carefully.
And also, so many portfolios are going away from the BJP. You have to accommodate the politicians. There's lesser to distribute.
Yeah. Okay, all right. Latha, thank you very much. We'll watch out for all the RBI actions starting 10 a.m.